Okay. Hello, everybody.
We're
This is
not on air,
basic.
are we?
Yes, we're on air.
All right.
Hey, everybody. I am a changeling storyteller. This is our resident Liverpudlian, and I'm explaining to him our simplified house ruled way to do cantrips in Changeling the Dreaming on Living World of Darkness. And I'm hoping if I make this video that I won't need to explain it multiple times. The way we do it is actually really simple. Especially when you compare it to other systems like Vampire in Overall Darkness and Mage. Basically, you're just going to take the dice pool from your art and your realm for the cantrip that you want to cast. You just add those dots together, and that's your dice pool. So say that you want to cast Omen, that's the first level Soothsay, and you want to cast it on something supernatural. So you're going to take all of the dots that you have in Soothsay, even though you just want to cast the first level, and it's going to be on something supernatural, so that's going to be Fey. You're going to take all the dots you have in Fey, and boom, that's your dice pool. Your difficulty is going to be the target's banality. That gets more complicated. Are you familiar with banality?
Yeah, it's how mundane and unfair they are, I believe.
Yeah, well, they can be otherworldly. They can be like vampires and so forth. But it's
How
more
boring?
how repetitious and how against how Arcadia wants to be set up, how the Dreaming wants to be set up you are. Throughout the books, there were different definitions on what banality was. Repetition seemed to be the big theme that they always came back to, but there was also things like processes that actively stifled creativity, such as video games or the military or something like that created and fostered banality, rather than just you slipping into a pattern where you kept on repeating stuff, which is the most common explanation for why vampires are so banal, because they're long-lived and they fall into patterns. But there's also physical manifestations of banality, like the Fomorians, not to be confused with the Adhene. The Fomorians are banal, and also cold iron is banal. So anyways, say that you have, let's say you have a werewolf, okay? And let's make it pretty easy. Let's say that it's a Fianna, so you know, a werewolf that has ancient pacts with fairies. That's going to lower their banality a little bit because they know about the ways of Arcadia. And let's say that they're a Theurge, so that's going to lower it even more because they've probably dealt with like Chimmerlings in the Dreaming, or they've dealt with strange magical stuff anyways. So their banality is probably going to be maybe a little bit less than a human's. So the average human's banality is 7. Your difficulty would normally be 7 if you're acting on a human. For this Fianna, it would be a 6. Okay, so there are ways, of course, that you can make it easier on yourself. You can perform a bunk to lower your difficulty, and you can spend a point of glamour to lower your difficulty even more, and finally you can burn some willpower to get an automatic success. The majority of the changelings that you're going to come across are wilders. That means that they have a banality of 3. That means your difficulty is going to be 3. In our game, anything in the Dreaming that doesn't have any corporeal body in the real world is, and that actually follows from the definition that they give in Denizens of the Dreaming. If it doesn't have any sort of fleshly body in the Tellurian or the mortal or whatever you want to call it realm, then it's banality 0. However, for the purposes of like mechanics, it's just going to be the lowest it can get is difficulty 3. Things that are going to be very hard for you to act against are things that actively resist you. So very, very boring ass older humans, the technocracy, the very old vampires that are more than 100 years old. Those kinds of things will be harder to work your magic on. So, is that making sense so far?
It's making sense so far, yeah.
Cool. Let me think. Things that are exceptions to the rule. Keocides and Malkavians. Malkavians are usually banality 6, sometimes 5. So even though they have madness, they're probably not going to be as crazy as a changeling. Keocides, they're fostered to hunt after children and fairies, and it's kind of been theorized on forums that the reason that they're after kids and fairies is because kids actually have very low banality. Their imaginary friend is pretty much real to them. And it's that sort of where they take down all the barriers between their mind and what's real. That's a lot like how the dreaming works. So that's why a younger kid's... There we go, age groups. Okay, humans are not always banality 7. So your difficulty is not always going to be 7 with them. If they're younger, if they're little kids, the banality might even be as low as 3. It's probably going to be like 5. If they're older or really, really boring, maybe you'll get to banality 8, but it's usually 7. So that's about all for actually doing cantrips. Let's see, the way we have it broken down with realms is that actor is going to be any humans, any kinfolk that don't have gnosis, none of that Numia stuff going around, just any run-of-the-mill humans, or isn't there a type of hunter that doesn't have any edge?
I have no idea. Probably.
Like a bystander or something? Don't quote me.
Yeah.
Let's see, Fae is anything supernatural, so kinfolk with gnosis, obviously fairies. Pretty much anything that you're going to run into and cross over is probably going to be Fae. Nature, pretty self-explanatory. Prop. That's anything that's in the real world that's inert, like a table, a door, that kind of thing, walls.
Bottles of beer, etc.
Oh, scene is so... Sorry, what?
Bottles of beer, etc.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so I have a story. There was this knocker, right? And we were all doing a bar scene. I absolutely love doing bar scenes with changelings because they always mess everything up. But I was playing my kinfolk character, and I knew out of character that this guy was a knocker, but I was trying to play it cool. So anyways, he offered me a beer. And he was just trying to troll. He would have offered the beer to anybody that took it. But anyways, I took a sip, and apparently what he did was he altered the beer. I can't remember what he used. It was probably some sort of chicanery. That's the whole thing where it messes with your mind. Anyways, he altered the beer to create the sensation of made her think for a couple seconds that maybe she had a spontaneous orgasm. And I was like...
And that's a trick of the mind, is it?
I guess it is. I honestly had no idea how to repeat it. Or I think I'm just not that good a role player, I have to say. So anyways, I was like, she acts really embarrassed and goes off to the restroom. So that's why prop is useful.
Yes, because playing pranks is the ultimate fun.
Well, look at the bar scenes that the changelings have been in.
Yes, that's the one in which a slightly insane werewolf nearly lynched a changeling.
Slightly insane werewolf probably had to come in.
No. Well, the time a demon attempted to help a changeling, and
that was not helping.
He tried.
Didn't you you screamed into that puka's ears or something like that?
I was actually trying to use... It's basically an ability that would allow me to whisper into his ear, which would have given him bonus dice for the seduction attempt, and because it backfired, it did the high torment version, which causes damage. Low torment, which is what I was aiming for. That's the problem. The low torment version would have given him I think it would have been like 7 or 8 extra dice to
You
seduce the person.
dumbass.
Whereas the high tournament version, which I got because of dice fuckery, ended up doing like 7 or 8 bashing to him.
I remember because we went to the hospital room. We're all like,
Yeah.
oh, the Fae have got it in for you now.
Yeah, well,
Oh, you've really screwed up now, demon.
yeah. Well, welcome to the fun of what it's like to be a demon. If we get it right, we can heal and be good people. Get it wrong, and we can set you on fire with our breath.
This is a separate conversation, but I finally read all of that demon stuff, and I really disagree with how your powers were doled out. But anyways, okay. So time, because of the way we do video chat and stuff, I haven't seen it used especially cleverly, but it pretty much means that you can have it doled out over a period of time. It talks about how long the spell is in effect. Since everything is kind of like scene-based, again, hasn't been that useful yet. Maybe we'll get like some kind of clever political way to use a cantrip over a long period of time, but that time hasn't come. The big one everybody forgets to ever get is seen. Seen. Okay, so if you do not use seen on things, any of your cantrips, and this is including, okay, something you might not know. When you use a cantrip in the world, most of the time you don't need to worry about, like the traditions and the litany and anything else in the world of darkness, Changeling has a set of rules. It's called the Ashit. One of them is right to ignorance, which means don't reveal yourself to the humans. Their banality will crush us, as it has tried to crush us in the past, going back to the days of the plague and so forth, where humanity just didn't want to believe in anything. It's really hard to mess that up, because whenever you cast a spell or do anything cool, the mist of disbelief, a byproduct of the technocracy and also the changelings leaving, descends upon the whole place, and it messes with everybody's minds. But what the players always forget is that it's only good for a 25-foot radius. So we've got stupid stuff like, did I ever tell you the story about how Adam got exiled? Because he's the only player to ever have gotten exiled, especially for something like this that is so hard to break. Okay, so the vampires had it in for him, right? And he was in jail. He'd already been linked to that sex scandal with the mayor. And yeah, he was in jail. Bad stuff was going to happen to him. He was wanted for murder in Kentucky because of something he put on his sheet when he didn't think he would get caught. Anyways, and he goes, okay, I've made a deal where I'm going to have this decoy that looks like me, and it's going to kill themselves, and they'll think that I killed myself, and then I'm just going to use portal passage, that's it, to walk out on the other side of the walls, and it'll all be fine. I'm not sure if he ended up using portal passage or flicker flesh, but anyways, oh, and that's something called Wayfair you might want to look into. It's great for getting around. It's like correspondence. Super useful. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, what the guy forgets to do, okay, so he uses chicanery to try and cover himself up. He botches it, and he doesn't use seen to extend for any other like additional cover-ups. So what the cameras that are outside of 25 feet see, because you know the mists don't descend past that point, is they see Adam, and then they see another Adam, and this other Adam stands in front of original Adam, and this other Adam erotically asphyxiates himself while original Adam stands by and watches all happy-dappy. Then he turns around while the other one is like dying or something like that, and then walks through the wall. We said it went viral on YouTube, because how can it not? And we got him exiled because it was pretty much the crown saying, okay, so we're not allowed to kill you. That's against our rules, but we really don't want you to be our problem anymore. This is way too much. So we exiled him to the Middle East because there's kingdoms all over the world, and we exiled him to the Caliphate of Cedars, where Queen Rania lives. She has a Twitter account, but I hear the things that she posts are not banal, so who knows?
Yes, because every changeling needs a Twitter account.
Well, no, usually this is a separate conversation, but usually they avoid social media, technology, and so forth unless it's extremely personal to them. There's a lot of repetition, you might have noticed, in texting and that kind of thing. But not all technology is inherently banal. So it
Ah,
depends how it works with you. Uh, I mean, unsealing knockers, they embrace technology.
right.
Okay, so that was a lot of information, and I got sidetracked a couple times, but do you basically know how to use, arts here?
I think I get the idea. Yeah.
Okay, so you're a beginning character, you're going to be a she. I would suggest that you might want to dump one in actor, cover your bases, dump
Okay.
something in Fae, and then I would say depends if you think you're going to be doing a lot of investigation or not. Do you think you're going to be getting more in trouble or doing more investigation?
Depends how often I get dragged into political situations.
Well, are you interested in the political situations? You are going to be playing a she.
Mm. My problem is I'm very, very bad at politics. I tend to get lynched.
Okay. You probably want something to cover your bases then. So
Yes.
I would suggest getting something in scene.
Right, yeah then. So that's 3 dots in realms.
Yeah, and then you can flesh it out more because it just adds to your dice pool. That's all we're doing. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty suggestions that they have.
Okay.
It's a lot simpler this way. We actually got the idea through several popular chat games. They do it this way.
Okie dokie.
Do you have any questions about cantrips, like certain ones you're looking through?
Not as of yet. I think I will probably have to. Let's see. The cantrip. All right, arts. Okay. I know there's some that are forbidden.
Yes, okay. We do not allow aphrodisia in any form. I don't even care if you're a mermaid or something like that.
Aphrodisia is literally the sex one. I take it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. On the chat games, it's colloquially known as the rape art. Because we're not working in a tabletop setting, because people are coming to us from all different backgrounds and stuff, we don't want to sit them down and interrogate them about their entire lives, and we don't want to put them through something like that either. They shouldn't have to justify their entire backstory to us, their real life backstory. So no, we're not going to touch on that. We're not going to have people with aphrodisia.
Okay.
But anyways, the other things that we don't allow is
Mhm.
naming and chronos. And the only reason that we don't for those is simply because video chat, some people are only able to do maybe 2 scenes a month, maybe 3 or something. It's really hard for them to get here. So how would you like it if you logged on and you found out that all your scenes had been completely wiped out? And what
Well,
if this happened to you like 2 months in a row? Because Chronos at the higher levels can absolutely do that. Or naming could actually turn you into something else completely.
someone turns you from a changeling into a toilet seat.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, that's great. I only got to do 3 scenes ever, and then that just happened to me. What's the point? So we don't allow that, but those are the only 3. As for Skycraft and Cryos, those are sea court arts. If you're a Selkie, you can have those upon creation. Otherwise, you need to find some very willing mermaid. Or you need to hit up our Selkie player.
Right.
Now, what I would suggest for a beginner player is Wayfair. I always suggest it because it's a really great way to get around.
Okay.
The other things, the she arts, so to speak, are Sovereign. And if you want to claim that later months and stuff, I'm not even going to request that you go to the library and research it. I feel that it's for all the noble she, which is to say every house except for Scathach, I feel that it's something that you should innately have. So there's Sovereign. Naming is definitely a she art, but of course we don't have it. Let's see, what else are good ones? Dreamcraft is very good. You are a dream lord.
Okay.
And
what
oh,
does
I'm sorry, what?
I was actually going to ask about what tailcraft is.
Okay, so you're coming in as a she. That's an art that you can come in with and have if you are an issue.
Ah, right.
You're on the subnet, aren't you?
I am indeed.
Yeah, no. Yeah, actually take a look at Sovereign. I think you would like that. Take a look at Wayfair. Let's see. If you're going to go into battle a lot, I definitely suggest Primal. At the lower levels, it's good for investigation. At the higher levels, it's good for getting into a fight with a werewolf.
Like Primal, but doesn't that let me just summon elementals or something?
No. Okay, so at the early levels, you can talk to things and ask them, what did you see, yada yada. You can, the problem is though that sometimes, you know, a tree has a longer lifespan than you, so it's not going to remember details like you do. And also it has more trouble relating. You might want to find something like a parrot that has a similar lifespan and has a better grasp of language than say a tree. So you need to be very careful with who you ask with Primal.
All right.
I'm sorry, with what's the first one for Primal?
The first one is Willow Whisper.
Yeah, that's the one. The one where you actually summon Earth, Wind, Fire, Captain Planet, that kind of thing. That's Eldritch Prime. That's the start of good stuff for a battle.
Which itself sounds like a superhero name.
Wasn't it like a 70s band, I feel?
I don't know. I mean,
I think it was. I think it was.
We are Eldritch Prime.
Oh, no, I meant Earth, Wind, Fire. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, Earth, Wind.
Oak and Shield. Like, everybody that has it, when they're going into battle, casts it for themselves, and they cast it for them, their friends as well. It gives you bonus health levels. It's so good. The thing that they always forget is that, seriously, like, all of them need Heather Balm. You can, if you get banged up, you can go to your freehold.
Right.
I'll tell you about that another time, because we're just talking about arts now. But yeah, you could go to your freehold and get extra health levels, but really you're not going to get them as fast as Heather Balm. It's a fantastic healing thing. Holly Strike deals ag damage, which is amazing. If you get Heather Balm, you also get Holly Strike. If you get Holly Strike, you also get Heather Balm. So that's fantastic. Soothsay is more of a commoner art, but a lot of she are interested in it nowadays. Do you remember when Veronica cursed Travis and took away his werewolf abilities?
No.
Okay, well, she did that. And she did that using augury, which is a higher level form of soothsay. At the very beginning, it just does very minor curses and blessings. But at the 4th dot, it gets incredibly powerful. At the 5th dot, it gets so powerful that it's pretty much STs do something. Do something big, adjust your plot kind of deal.
So if I ended up with level 5 Omen, it would be a case of I've done X. Send a message to STs to point out I have done X.
The way that Fate Fire, which is the 5th dot of Soothsay reads, is the caster has no control over the outcome. Of course, he can make suggestions as to what may be the most fitting manifestation of dawn, which means destiny, to the storyteller. Casters of Fatefire often have vague, portentous dreams of what will come to pass. But if you look at the examples that they give, it's nuts. It's like plot-changing shit.
Target receives a chance encounter. A troubled soldier has nightmares.
No, don't look at one success.
All right. So at the highest level, instant karma. A character's fate is immediately brought to the fore. The soldier receives a supernatural visitation, informing him that his fate isn't tied to welfare, but saving life. Warfare, but
but look at this. The 5 successes. What do you think this would mean to a storyteller? They'd be like, "Oh shit! I am forced to do a plot thing now. I need to scoot something up now." If they're a good storyteller, they won't throw in like a red herring. They will actually scoot their plot up to meet this because that's what it means. So that's why it's really difficult. And
so if there was a plot plan, for example, in a vampire scenario for a particular vampire to have his haven set on fire, then thumph.
Yeah, I mean, that might have been the culmination of what the storytellers agreed would happen if so-and-so continued to neglect their nightclub and piss off the Tremere or something like that. But then, whoom, the Tremere have decided that they've absolutely had it with the Giovanni and whatever, and it's just up in flames, all of a sudden. Like, they got really mad that one day. It just, yeah, good storytellers will scoot their own plot up to meet what you have cast with that.
And by using augury, you can see what's going to happen in advance.
Oh, augury, you can absolutely change it. You can make vampires into humans. You can make babies into Cerberus. You can do like anything with augury. I actually did not use fate fire on that werewolf that I was telling you about earlier. I used augury. Hold
on, though, and the storyteller can scenes that are linked. I don't understand this one at all. It says linking scenes together. This confuses me. Let's see.
Oh.
If a target is dying of AIDS and she describes a scene where he passed her with those lovely presents, if no success, and she just got this free success. Oh, fuck. So it's essentially weaving a tale.
Yes.
Which is then applied to reality.
Yes.
So using that, I could weave a tale in our previous scenario. Weave a tale in which the vampire's future is to have his haven set on fire, and then I get bored and so I'll use fate fire to make it happen sooner.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's actually terrifying.
I know, right?
Because that genuinely means I could weave together a scene. I could 3 scenes. First one, nightclub set on fire by drunken reveler. A vampire goes to meet Prince in order to complain that Haven now on fire. While their gunman charges attempting to kill Prince leaps out of way. New other guy takes bullet.
The only thing with this, and it could absolutely work like that, the only thing with this is that as changelings, we are tainted by our human body. We are not the Norns. We are not the Miore that the denizens are. We're not purely connected to Dawn anymore. We can only kind of see the threads and pluck at them and hope that it goes our way. We're not actually infused with them, like those 2 beings that I just mentioned are. So we're going to pluck at them. We're going to hope that it works out that way. But the storyteller might go, well, actually, you didn't know that this was going on. So, yeah, that kind of happens, but this kind of happens too. And you want to have this happen sooner? Fine, it's going to hurt that person, but it's actually going to hurt you too in this way that you didn't see. So you're not God dictating to the storyteller exactly what you want to happen. Things will probably go along this path, but you might get some unforeseen consequences too.
So you have to do like a mage would and do a lot of planning. You have to do multiple checks to see.
That's what a lot of this comes down to. Yeah. If you really want to invest into this and you want to do all the scenes and really look into it, yeah, I'd be more inclined to reward that kind of stuff.
Right, making sure that, like, okay, I want to say, for example, I want to cause this particular human to crash into the bank today. I'm going to make sure that at no point is he going to be driving on the same road that I drive to work. I'm going to make sure that the banking room that he crashes into is not the room that happens to contain my money.
You can be as careful as you want, and
it can still bugger up.
And it can still bugger up, but it'll be less likely to bugger up. Just remember that you're not completely in control when you use this. You're toying with a power that you no longer have the control that the true Fae used to have.
Oh, lovely.
I mean, do you know what happened to Veronica when she took away Travis's werewolf powers? It wasn't good.
She grew a tail?
No, but she got in an awful lot of trouble, and that's a big part of why I can't play her now.
Oh, great.
Totally worth it.
But I take it though it would be something like the more subtle, the easier it is to do.
Probably.
Right, because obviously a subtle
honestly,
thing is.
Here's how I've done it before. If the player does, and the book briefly touches on this when it's talking about fake fire. If the player wants to do something that you've actually kind of inadvertently mentioned in your plot anyways, then you're going to be a lot more willing to help them out and make things go smoother for them. If they're directly acting against what you've written down, then they can get in the general vicinity of where they wanted to go, but there's going to be unforeseen consequences because their reality, what they want, is so completely different than what was going to happen.
Right.
Anyways, you really are playing with fire. They're super powerful. They're super fun to use. But yeah, give it a think. Same token, take a look at Sovereign. The higher levels there are crazy.
Sovereign.
If you take a look at Geese or Ban, that's really insane. Weaver Ward I never much liked. I didn't think that it really accomplished what it wanted to do very well, especially against Supernaturals. I thought it was poor for crossover.
Gaius or Ban?
Oh, I always said Geese. Is it Gaius?
It can be pronounced Gaius or Gias. Some people pronounce it one way, some people pronounce the other.
It's the Liverpudlian way of saying it.
I would generally say Gaius, but then again, most people in Liverpool don't even know what the word Gaius is.
I didn't think so. I saw Red Dwarf.
Let's see.
Come on, just get. Oh, okay. Anyways, yeah. Look at Geese or Ban.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
You can banish people with this. You can rewrite their goals.
A minor Gaius or Ban. Drive me to the airport. Stop. Oh, so a Gaius is an instruction, something that they have to do. A ban is something they have to not do. Mm-hmm. And the curse is what happens if they either break the ban. I take it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
That I just realized something. That means.
I honestly don't know what happens if you cast this on somebody that has Untamable. We haven't come to that bridge yet.
No, I'm just thinking, if you have 5 successes, that's a legendary Gaius or Ban, and it says stuff like, bring back the siege perilous from Arcadia, never visit with the love with whom you've sworn the oath of trunk hearts.
Truth hearts.
Truth hearts, it's badly spelt here then. But that does essentially mean that to use the vampire example again, I could actually go up to them and say, or rather, I could put a ban on them: never feed from a living thing.
Geese and Ban is so powerful because it's a very quick way to make other players unplayable. It is devastating. And yes, that's what it means. You could say, okay, so you can't feed from anybody, and if you break that, then you have to fall into eternal slumber. So you put them into torpor.
Yeah.
I actually saw somebody defeat a dragon that way. They said you must not hurt any changelings, and if you do, you will have to sleep for all eternity. And things happened in the adventure where the dragon, I think they did do it on purpose actually, hurt a changeling, and then that was it. They were down one dragon and they didn't need to worry about it. Something that could have chimerically slain all of them, they didn't need to worry about now because of this one art.
And I've also just thought of a very simple way of using it, actually. The simple Gaius or Ban, stop scratching your arm. You could, I take it, with the curse, you could actually, I take it, the case of Soothsay, a very simple use of that would be, you walk along the street, and in the process of doing so, you happen to brush up against a tree, like a bush or a tree or something, that happens to have some, let's say, poison oak growing in it, and you just end up with a slight rash on your arm when you're scratching it, and it's very irritating. I put a ban on someone to not scratch their arm for the rest of the week. At some point, they're going to start scratching their arm. And,
no, they might not. It just might be really annoying.
But there's a good chance they're going to.
Mm.
Look, especially when they're asleep. People do tend to do it when they're asleep. At which point, I then put the successors into the curse and give them a catastrophic one, the loss of all their possessions. Because all their possessions just go up in flames.
Let me see if you can split it like that. Can you?
It seems to be, because it's got 2 charts for it. Let's see. The caster must divide her total success between the quest and the curse. She can't stack multiple castings of the cantrip to increase the effects, though a single character can be affected by multiple geasa and bans. If she spends an extra glamour point, she can designate the curse to gradually affect the target with increasing severity over the course of the quest. For example, a caster could send the target on a quest to find true love. The longer he looks, the more debilitating and scarring disease ravages his body. A geas can be long-term or short-term.
I don't know, hon. I think in this case we would rule as we have with similar cantrips, where we would say that you get 4 successes, but you only wanted to cast at level 2. You can do the 2. But that means that on the ban side or the gay side, that you only get 2. You don't get like, or no, that was a bad example. Okay, say you get 6 successes, but you only wanted to do 2. You can only do 2 for either side. It has to balance out.
Right. So it would have to be a legendary get. Well, that would actually represent a slight. That would mean, though, that the legendary Gaius, the one that's almost impossible to do, is the one that would result in death.
It's not a nice cantrip.
Yeah, that means, though, that that means I could use that to essentially guarantee someone's death, because I can only put death onto it for something they're guaranteed to fail on, or almost guaranteed to fail.
And they say that the demons and werewolves are overpowered.
Oh, I know changelings are overpowered. I know that.
Everybody's overpowered past the 3rd dot in everything. I can't wait for people to finally stop complaining about another venue being overpowered. We're all overpowered together, guys. We're all in this OP'd.
Except that whenever we try to just unite and conquer mankind, everyone always gets bitchy.
That's because the vampires don't do their job, do they? I'm just kidding. Okay, so yeah, take a look at the arts, and yeah, I'll add you to the chat tonight so you can ask other people more questions. But I definitely just wanted to have this video so I could give it to anybody else if they wanted to know more about arts.
Yeah, I think I'll make.
Wait. One last thing, because I figured this out when I was pretty young, or sorry, new to the game. Okay, take a look at. Oh yeah, this is Soothsay. I used to use it all the time. Bloop, 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 bloop. So Tattletale. Yeah. Okay. So, look really briefly on what it has about spying.
Tattletale. Okay.
Mm-hmm. In order to successfully cast this cantrip, the target must be well known to the changeling, or she must possess a part of, or know its true name. How could I get a part of somebody?
Haircut.
Hair on the pillow is so much easier.
Oh god.
It was so easy. I was able to kill several characters that way.
Oh god.
So easy. Never even needed a true name. This was the beginning of the end. I was able to spy on them and figure out more about them. Took out a demon, a werewolf. Anyways, so that's very simple. I wanted to let you know that because all the other changelings definitely know that.
Yeah. I am also wondering about one side thing.
Mhm.
The actual arts that are classed as forbidden, as in literally the one, as in contempt, delusion, discord, and eriomancy. What is the standing of those in the game?
Discord and Oneomancy. Those are Adhene arts, and they are available if you are Adhene. Contempt and Delusion. Oh, those are Shadow Court arts. Oh my god, the Shadow Court? No, that doesn't exist, right?
So I'm guessing that's a case of I find an Adhene, hit them with a big enough chimerical stick, I will learn their arts.
God, yeah, sure, that's exactly how that would work.
I don't know what these things are. To guess. That's
okay, because of what the Changelings did last year, Adhene are playable races now. They don't. It doesn't really. It hasn't been a smooth transition at all. But there are Adhene in the city. You might know that I play one.
Right. So
they're there. They're there.
Right.
Just like there's Silkies there.
So why does my theory about the chimerical stick not work? Are they big and tough? Or small and tough?
They are true fae.
Okay. Putting away the chimerical stick, getting out the cold iron stick. and putting on the glove over my own hand. I'm not risking this shit. Teach me, thunk. Teach me, thunk. Why are you not dying? Teach me, thunk.
What house do you want to be? Ilunid, you said?
Yeah, Ilunid, yeah, the occultists. Well, that's what I've basically been given the image. Like, they're the secret keepers sort of thing.
Yes, so you would be interested in new and exciting arts. That's totally within character. I'm interested to see how the stick theory plays out.
Yeah.
See how that goes.
Yeah, that would not work, I get the feeling. I think it would be more a case of...
I think it would make for a really entertaining scene.
A very intriguing death. Hello, Mr. Trufe. What would you like? I would like you to stop hitting me with the cold iron stick. but wait, do you promise if I put the cold iron stick down, you won't then beat me with it? No. Thunk!
I gotta get going, hon. It's starting to get late over here.
Okay.
Yeah, kick ass. I will add you to the chat tonight, and you can start talking to everybody. We've got a lot of people now. We've got almost 30. No, I think we do. I think we have like 36. Anyways, yeah, cool. I'll add you tonight. When I go to bed, you can ask them any other questions I didn't think about. And cool. Happy to have you.
I will certainly try and have some fun and work out how the fuck to not get myself killed in the first session.
Monitor your hair. No, I just...
Yes, my first action in game.
You know what? Take common sense seriously.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking of doing that.
There's some people I just wanted to hand it to them, but I knew they wouldn't listen to it anyways.
Yeah, I'm seriously thinking that first action in the scene, I will get out a large razor and proceed to shave off every scrap of hair I have. Then wear a hazmat suit. What's the hazmat suit for? Skin cells, you morons!
Oh, and that means that none of our soothsayers, because we have more than one, would be able to do anything.
Yeah, I'll walk around in the chimerical hazmat suits.
Oh, is that banal? That's for another day. Anyways,
not if I find a dream of toxic waste or something.
Oh, it's called the Blot Kilder.
Blot Kilder.
Blot Kilder?
It
sounds like it has a trill in it.
Yeah, it sounds like someone's actually talking about killing plot lines. I'm a plot killer.
No. It exists. It's like the realm of the diseased. It said that it's the home world or home area of the Achiri, which is something you don't need to know about yet. And a court resides there that you don't need to know about yet. But it is in the, I want to say it's in the near dreaming, actually. Weirdly enough, it's one of those newish is actually quite old places that the changelings now have accessible to them because the Adhene have come.
Right.
Anyways, yeah, I was talking about arts. I kind of rambled on. Thanks for sticking with me.
Rightio. I think I'm going to pop back over to the other hangout and then
Yep.
attempt to get my head around this crap.
It's easy. It's easy.
People say that.
Look. Doom and gloom sometimes, wild midsummer parties the rest of the time, which is actually what we're going to be having later on this month.
Rightio.
Okay, good night.
Okay, good night.